We'll do a small little segment. I'll edit it. Go ahead.
You know, I'm going through the crisis of money. Okay. And I have another $1,000 payment. I'll be cleared, by next month. So, that's $800 extra a month I get to have. But I just want to reap the benefits of not having that $800 a month and maybe take 600 and put that to the side. You feel what I'm saying? You just keep, like I've been broke this long. And when I say broke, I'm not starving or anything, but like for the past 3 months, we just been, oh, let's just go to, Aldi's or Winn-Dixie or whatever and just get dinner, for the night. And it's like 2 days worth, whatever.
Hmm.
Um, so I'm scrolling on my phone and I was on TikTok and I came across this thing, make money, while streaming or some weird thing. So I was like, okay, cool. Let me check this out. All I gotta do is play a game and make some money, $5, $10, whatever. So, I'm looking at it. I'm like, wait, 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 wait. Let me read the reviews. Holy crap, bro. One guy put, man, just to get $100, I play for hours and hours and hours. The other guy says, yeah, it's not worth the $5 I got after 3 hour gameplay and blah, blah, blah. I beat the game and, that's all they gave. And then it hit me. I said, here we go. How about that? To control you, people who need money. Let's get into this. What games are we playing? Who knows? Doesn't matter. But it's still a game that you got to play, just to earn this money. So I see an addiction there. Just like when I'll never forget when they first offered gambling, on your phone, and people got addicted to that. I mean, bad, like real bad. People were getting broke. My brother, not so much on the phone, but he got addicted to gambling. Just on the computer. Just playing. Back in the days. On a computer and all that. And I'm just thinking, bro, man, there is no control right now to what we see and what we view anymore, because people like you and me and many others out there, we don't just look at videos no more. We got to inspect it, break it down, look at the background. Like, yo, is that even real? Like, I don't know, cross-reference it. Look elsewhere. It's like all these movies that are coming out. Edward Scissorhands too, yeah. So my wife got excited. She goes, yo, look, look. I said, that's fake. She goes, how do you know? That's not Johnny Depp. And she goes, yes, it is. So she's showing it to me. Then she goes to Edward Scissorhands, the first one. I said, okay. When did Edward Scissorhands come out? That's not Johnny Depp. That's the young kid Johnny Depp, after 21 Jump Street and shit. You know what I'm saying? But it's so weird that like people get involved real heavy with these videos. Just like the doctor videos, you've been doing it all wrong. And I had to tell my aunt, yo, that's not real, man. Look at the guy's face. He has the same like six position movement in like 5 minutes. You feel what I'm saying? Is he accurate with what he's saying? Yeah, probably not, and I know one of them I looked it up and I said, yeah, that's not a thing. But you know, social media is destroying people. Um, is it fair for me to say just here in the United States? I don't know. Maybe that's why China has their restrictions and these people stop doing this. Um, Fun fact, real quick side note, they restricted young kids. I forgot where it was, man. Australia. I don't know. Somewhere they restricted young kids from being on the phone or being, doing YouTube and all that. Dude, it was like over 1 million people that they got off that stream. Kids. That and mind you, I'm being nice. I'm just saying 1 million. It was more than that. I just can't remember the number. But I found that disgusting because like, dude, when we were kids, man, the most we got was a damn quarter. Call me if you need anything. Call me every hour or whatever. You go to the payphone. And mind you, if people don't notice, payphones, if a call was a dime, you put in a quarter. And as long as you hang up before those 3 minutes or whatever minutes it takes, to make one phone call, you got your change back. You know what I'm saying? You got your 15 cents or whatever, but
All right, well, just to reinforce what you're saying, I looked up the Australian new law. Australia's social media regulation focuses on a new world first law. New world first law. That's interesting. Effective December 2025, banning under 16
yeah.
from major platforms like TikTok,
Mhm.
Instagram, YouTube, and X. So, and I do want to read this part really quick because I think this is important. So, requiring platforms to block accounts with massive fines for noncompliance, aiming to protect youth's mental health and harms from cyberbullying and grooming. So, with that said, I completely agree with that, and I'm going to tell you why. And I know we're kind of all over the place, because we started talking about the making money online and stuff, and I do want to go back to that eventually.
Yeah.
But what I saw the other day, I was in the market. I'm in all the markets, right? That's my job. I have to deliver and shop. And I see this young girl. I mean, she couldn't have been 10 or 11 with her father. And it reminded me of Mia Maya, obviously. But she's standing there with her phone and she's taking selfies the entire time. She keeps like, and I didn't want to be weird by staring at her because obviously we're living in a crazy world. But the reason why I was looking at her was because it's like, what are you doing? Who are you sending those pictures to? Why are you taking like 10 selfies while your father's checking out? And why is the father not checking on that?
Hmm.
Now with Maya and with her phone, I see everything she's doing. I get notified if something's out of line.
Good. That's good
And
parenting right there, bro.
no,
That's
it
the way it
is.
should be.
And
That's the way it
it's
should be.
you can't catch everything, but I train Maya to understand like, yo, you just don't be stupid. I'm not gonna always check every single thing you're doing, but don't be stupid because if I get notified the wrong thing,
You're
we're
gonna
gonna
get
have a
questioned and dealt
problem,
with. Yeah.
obviously.
Yep.
Um, and it's our job as parents to protect our daughter. But that kind of frustrated me, and the father looked frustrated. He looked like so angry and like just I can sense the mood. And his daughter's just behind him in complete fucking la la land.
Hell bag or something. What the hell?
What are you taking so many selfies? Who are you taking selfies for? It's just
Well,
I don't want to be judgmental, but
I what I do is same thing like you. First of all, um, I'm gonna explain to you what you saw. Australia put it the best way. They said they wanted to stop yada 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 yada, and the key word is grooming.
grooming. Yep.
Okay, so what you saw was grooming. This girl got involved with something, and you, pretty girls, guys, whatever. You know what I'm saying? They get so socialized with like Snapchat and all that stuff, and they just gotta and that's what they believe they have to do because oh man, Victor got what 1,000 likes and I'm only 998. Oh yeah, they go buck wild. That's
Yeah,
all
and
it
I
is.
also what put it in my head too, because this is a problem and not like a serious issue. Well, it could be serious with Maya's mother before Maya was born, and we had social media and Facebook, and it was like the infancy stage of Facebook per
Yeah.
se. Um, every time we would sit down to eat, she would take a picture and show. We spoke about this before, and she'll show everywhere we're at, and I'm just like, "What are you doing? Stop doing. Take a picture, but don't share the location." And people still do it to this day, which blows my
Yeah,
mind.
they put their location like
It
yo.
it blows my mind. I don't understand it, but that's what I was thinking. What she was doing, like, oh, we're just at Harris Teeter, taking a little selfie, and I'm just like, what are you doing? That's the first thing that came to my head.
Well,
And it's
you got still people like, putting their location or whatever, which I find that ridiculous,
That's crazy to
You
me.
know, I could see me and my wife chilling before a movie, taking a picture, because my wife values that, you know what I mean? That's it. I'm not gonna take a picture for putting butter and popcorn, filling up the soda cup,
No,
you
no. So
know.
don't get me wrong. I'm not. I'm
Let
talking
me let
about
me
like
show the
just
movie. Let me show the movie ticket.
everywhere you go.
Mhm.
I'm gonna know everything you're doing, all your habits. If you're at Disneyland, of course, that's different. Like oh, look, we're in Disney or whatever. But it's just like you said, the grooming, the obsession of having
Yeah.
to validate your life by what other people think. So, you take a picture of food and they're like, "Oh, I'll never eat that. That's disgusting." It's just like, um, I guess it's okay if it was like strictly for family. Like if you had like 100 friends and family, like I do on my
Yeah.
Facebook. But it's the people that have thousands of all these strangers. It's like, what are you doing, dude? That's why I got rid of my original Facebook. I
Yeah.
had way too many people on there that I didn't even remember. And I think it's a very dangerous thing. But I do want to rewind just for a second. We do have a problem in the United States when it comes to people become addicted to the possibility of making money doing things like playing games or being online and stuff.
Hmm.
I fell into that trap recently because, you see the video and they're like, yeah, do this, do that, and I make $50,000 a day or some stupid shit. So I started it. I was playing, playing, playing. I had nothing to do. And this is the time when I had when DoorDash deactivated me for
Yeah.
four
Yeah.
months. So I
I
was just
remember
trying to
that. You was like,
figure
yeah,
out
I was in the middle of a game. I'm like, oh, okay.
so many different ways to make money. So I did that and I shit you not, I kept believing, I convinced myself that I will make a living doing it. I convinced myself that I would make 80 to $100 a day doing that because they set you up where you're 10 minutes away from making $20 and then you get that 10 minutes in or whatever and then they're like, "Okay, now you have to download this app." And the reason why I'm mentioning that is because that shit is illegal in other countries. You
Yeah.
can't do that,
Yeah.
especially in Japan. You cannot trick people, but that's the problem with a free country, and people are abusing
Yes.
this
Yes.
our
Yes.
freedom.
Yep.
And
Yep.
a lot of people don't like when I say it, but I think that's why democracy is trash. I'm sorry.
You said it right, man. Um, this is a country where freedom is key. So everybody just runs over here, just basically does what they want. Oh, hold on one second. I got a thing on my the hell
Yeah,
my Apple Store update. For HP laptop. Go figure.
that's funny.
Um, you can see me. You don't see the screen though, right?
No, I see you. Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. No, because on my side I see the screen, but I can't exit out because I guess it's loading up.
No, you good.
Um, but again, the key word is grooming children 16 and under. Here in the United States, they're grooming people of all ages. You know, um, I think it was good that you admitted that. I think it's good that I was like, oh, let me give this a try, and then caught myself though right away. I said, oh, whoa, whoa, stop.
Well,
You know,
it's
and,
not pain.
and then on top of that, part of the reviews, one guy said that if you wanted to advance, you out of your pocket had to pay.
Yes,
So if you if
100%.
if you and me are on this same system, right? And I said, man, I should have got those $20. Uh-oh, Victor has to pay $40 because in order to advance to get possibly $100, now I get your $20, they make $20, and you'll never get the $100. And it's the addiction, the fiend for the money. You know what I'm saying? And listen, man, I would never down anybody who can figure out a way to make money. I mean, damn it, bro. I admitted that to you, and you came clean with I was like, yo, I'm desperate, man. Oh, tick, really? I could, oh, you know, yo, dude, I started to download. I said, whoa, let me stop this. Let me see if there's reviews. And I read the reviews and I said, oh, okay. Whew.
Yeah, I've
Because,
I've fell victim to a lot of those things, and the reason why is because you have these major corporations that are taking advantage of your vulnerability. They know you're vulnerable. They know it's no different from scam artists calling me every single day with the same story, the same AI robot. Now I block it. I put the silence unknown callers, but that's hurtful for the business that I'm about to launch because
yeah,
I need to be able to have a phone number where people are not just calling me out of nowhere, non stop. Bro, it is insane how many phone calls I get in one day. In one day.
hey, listen, I'm going to tell you something very believable. You know, hey, I want to see if I could get a cheap insurance quote, for my car. Okay. Uh, and I'm going through your website, Victor Ramirez Low Cost Insurance. That's it. I opened up your personal website. I opened up a internet building block that you did with, you and your family or cars, wreck cars, whatever. I am just filling out an application so Victor Ramirez can give me a quote. Okay. While in the process of doing that, once I submit, we'll send you an email. Voila, Geico, Allstate, phone is ringing. And I'm like, what the hell, bro? Like, nothing is personal anymore in on the internet, social media. It's out there. It's just out there. You know what I'm
It's
saying? And,
disruptive
and,
to
and
our
it's
nation,
it's
bro. It's so
sad.
disruptive.
It's just like, don't let me watch, like I can understand Spanish to a certain degree. Sometimes I'll come across something I'm like, oh, what's going on here? I'm trying to understand it. Uh-oh, big mistake. Guess what happens? Algorithm change. Now I'm getting all these Spanish videos. And I'm like, come on, man. You know what I mean? So it's like right now we are living in a stage. And when I say stage, I'm saying we're probably up to stage 20 and it's going to keep rising. This number is going to keep rising, okay? Because this is the way the system uses social media or the internet to, Australia put it the same way, groom you. You don't have to be a kid to be groomed. You could be an adult too. You and I could be like strung out on cash and,
Well,
like,
of
oh,
course.
look at this offer. I'm going to try this. I want to do this. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
And right
Virginia,
now,
well, Virginia just passed a law that's similar to that.
well, look at this right now. Maybe you can elaborate on this. There's a lot of people that do DoorDash and Lyft and all of this and that, and they're not even a driver. What it is, hey Vic, man, I want to make some money, man. I'm gonna take your DoorDash. So I go run out there, do DoorDash under your name. Now they're cracking down on that. I don't know if you know that. I would assume they're gonna start having pictures like this is your DoorDash, and you just sitting there smiling with your straw hat and all that. And
Well,
but if I roll up like, hey, you don't look like the guy in the picture, who are you? You know what I'm saying?
now, I know you're busy at work and you can't read all the posts, but I literally just had a debate about that online on Facebook and in one of my previous videos.
Yeah.
Literally word for word what you just said.
Oh,
Word
okay,
for
look
word.
out.
And
Who knows?
what's
Maybe I did, I don't remember seeing it, but
no, no,
sometimes
no. No,
I'll
it's
put on
fine.
clips and I just play it on my phone while I'm doing work, and sometimes my attention is drawn elsewhere.
No, you're good. So before I get into that, yes, Virginia just passed a law. If you're under the age of 16, you are by default 1 hour a day for social media.
Really?
Yep. but it does say parents can give verifiable consent to increase or decrease the limit. And a lot of the reasoning behind that, from my understanding, I could sit here and read the whole thing, but to summarize that, it's because kids are more interested in gaming on Twitch and all of that, and they're making a lot of money doing it. So what the state is trying to do is say, hey, we need these kids in school. We don't need them playing Twitch and dropping out of school. But you also have to make school more engaging, and that's another conversation because the schools right now are just complete trash. They're teaching our kids bullshit, and it's
I,
I don't agree with the
let
curriculum.
me blow your mind right now. I read an article. I cross-referenced it, and the article seems legit, where they are considering homeschooling with AI now. Can you imagine that shit?
Well, I don't
You
care
will have a
how the
virtual
kid,
teacher or
but I
whatever.
don't,
It's like,
yeah, I don't care how the kids are being taught. What I care is what they're teaching them. And we have to accept the fact that we're in a digital age, bro. We're not in the 80s and the 90s anymore. You
mm-mm.
know, somehow, some way we have to, we, so when it comes to the whole education system, we're forcing our kids to go to school, not me, the government. And then you have to work during those hours. And if you're not working during those hours and you work late night, then you have to depend on a babysitter. So right now, the entire system's a complete fucking mess. And that's why we have unlimited problems. I mean, we could talk unlimited for the rest of our lives about all the problems that's happening in this country. And a lot of that has to do with emotion. People are voting off of emotion. They're reacting off of emotion. No one's using logic. No one's being it's a complete mess, and I know because obviously I'm dealing with it.
Well,
It's affecting me personally.
it's interesting you say that because um I have firsthand I have firsthand knowledge on seeing this. It happened with my wife, when the new year started, well, not this year, last year, when I think Trump was like, we gotta watch these, benefits and all of this and that. Yo, they ceased my wife's benefit and she had to reapply again.
I didn't know that. Yeah,
Okay. Now, mind you, she's been on benefits for what? Not, I'm sorry, correct myself, not benefits, but SSA, the Social Security
yeah.
Administration, and she's been on it for 3 years. She went through a lawyer and everything to get it. Okay, so she had to reapply. Not only for that, but she had to reapply for Medicaid all over again, all that stuff. Now, when she got the Medicaid and all that, now we have a $20 copay, and I'm like, yo, that don't make sense because the
That
state,
that's Florida. That's not
yeah, no, no,
not in Virginia because I get Medicaid and they didn't make me do anything. So
no, it
yeah,
gets better now. Now she has her first ever appointment with Social Security. Okay, it's an interview. They're gonna ask her what's wrong, whatever, blah blah blah. So she was worried and all that, and I'm saying, no, just answer the questions. You have a legit condition, blah blah blah. They're gonna see that. You know, dude, when she went, a doctor saw her and said, "Okay, what's your problem?" Oh, I got spina bifida. I forget what it's called for her leg and all this. And she has a stimulator and all this. Yo, she said not only was the doctor just thorough with questions, but he touched all the parts that are supposed to be hurting her, and she reacted to it. And like in like 5 minutes, okay, you're good to go. She
okay.
left. I was like, man, I told her that's because they want to see this is what's happening with this country right now. They want to
So
see if
really
you
quick,
can
do
work
you agree or disagree
with what?
with what they're doing and how they
Oh,
did it?
absolutely. No. Hey,
Okay, all
look,
right.
like, I mean, like, I don't think, like, that's like saying, yeah, my face is numb. They're gonna slap you or something. Maybe they'll poke you with a knife
Why
and say,
not?
do you feel it? No. You know what I mean? But like what it is just like the EBT system. People took advantage of it. Now you're getting checked out. Now you're not buying steak no more. You got to buy poultry and
That's it.
fish, and that's it. Peas, carrots, vegetables. You know what? We're gonna be nice. You get one snack. Some kind of grain oatmeal bar or something. You know what I'm saying? And people are like, what am I to do? My kid, he's only 5 but weighs 200 pounds. He needs the food. Well, what the fuck you think your kid is that big, man? Because you're out there buying junk food. Listen, I've seen people, man, with my own eyes, stacks of steaks and oxtail, everything, and you see
I
the
see it every day.
EBT car come out. I'm like, wow,
I see it every single fucking day,
I
dude.
have to treat myself once every 4 months for oxtail if I wanted that, or a big piece of T-bone steak or something.
But
You
the
know,
bigger
it,
problem is, and we talked about this a while ago, the bigger problem is that, dude, do you have taxpayers that are making corporations rich
yeah,
when they buy Doritos and soda and all that shit? Dude, I'm telling you, when I fill these carts sometimes, I'm like, what are you doing? You're poisoning yourself. You're poisoning your family. Of course, you can't get around every single poison that's in food, but at least regulate it, dude.
yeah.
If you're gonna have Doritos, have water with it, not Doritos and soda. You're fucking killing yourself. You're killing yourself.
Well, listen, without a doubt, it's like I said, that movie Wall-E, that's a huge message out
There
there,
you go.
you know.
Oh, that's a
And
documentary.
I re
Straight up.
I love it, man. Yo, I'm gonna post that. I'm gonna put, hey, check out this real life documentary,
I'll,
Wall-E.
I'll make an AI video for you. I'll do
This
it.
is what the world is coming to, But on the
All right,
serious,
last thought on your
yeah,
your end, and then we're gonna do another
yeah.
segment.
On a serious note, though, you know, um, you posted up something that I was gonna chime in, but be more argumentative because people chimed in and it's like they misunderstood what you was trying to say. But you started talking about the people in Walmart with the little carts and shopping for people when there's it's just somebody at home who doesn't want to come out. Oh, and what if I had a handicapped child or like a newborn infant? Hey, we get that shit. The point is, you got people who just that's like going to the store that you either park, get out your car and walk in, but no, they offer the window. So now you're gonna go there. Yeah, I want a Coca-Cola. So the guy got to walk out of his counter, the back of the counter to go
Mm-hmm.
get you your soda and shit. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's pretty wild, man. But it's just what we're getting to, man. But you know, uh, um, I don't know why I mixed that word with the Australian law, but it's all about grooming, bro. Like yo, dude, I'm telling you, man. We're gonna be out there in space in some big old shit, just trying to live life while there's worth it, while there's
Hey,
worth.
look, man, I'm all about freedom, but when you start abusing it, that's fine. Abuse freedom on your own time.
Hmm.
But
Don't include me.
your actions have consequences to everybody.
Yep.
Everybody. Let's say we go to war tomorrow. How many fatties do we have in this country? Let's be honest, bro. They're
Hey,
gonna mobilize. Where are they running? And then
hey,
you have people like, yo, dude, we could go down a rabbit hole, but we're gonna do another segment.
yep.
And we'll be right back after these messages. How
There we
about
go,
that?
bro. All right.